Two sisters have nothing in common but 8.5 shoe size. When one sister sleeps with the other's boyfriend, the only thing that could bring them together is a long-held family secret. Maggie and Rose are sisters who were raised by their father Michael and their stepmother, Sidel, after their mother Caroline died in a car accident. Rose, Maggie's older sister, is a practical and earnest lawyer who watches out for Maggie despite her flaws. Maggie, on the other hand, is a carefree person who fails to keep consistent job, owing in part to her dyslexia, and frequently relies on alcohol and men. One night, after Sidel kicks a drunken Maggie out of the house, Rose reluctantly lets her move into her Rittenhouse Square apartment in Philadelphia. Maggie has trouble finding a job and soon creates problems for Rose, including getting her car towed. Their strained relationship collapses when Rose catches Maggie in bed with Jim, a man she has been dating. Devastated and enraged, Rose throws Maggie out. Maggie soon disappears from Rose's life. A few days earlier, while secretly searching her father's desk for money, Maggie finds a bundle of old greeting cards filled with cash. To her surprise, the cards are addressed to both her and Rose and are from their grandmother Ella. Now homeless and jobless, Maggie heads to Delray Beach, Florida, to find her grandmother and potentially find a new source of income. When Ella first hears from Maggie, she invites her to stay at her home, feeling guilty for neglecting her duties as a grandmother. Ella confides in her close friend Ethel that Caroline had been mentally ill and, before her death, had written a note asking Ella to take care of her daughters. However, over time, Ella realizes that Maggie has visited only to sunbathe and steal money from her. One day, when Maggie requests financial support for an acting career, Ella offers to match her earnings dollar for dollar if she agrees to work in the assisted living section of the retirement community. Meanwhile, Rose decides to leave her job and become a dog walker. She starts dating Simon Stein, a colleague from her former law firm, and over time, they fall in love and get engaged. Maggie forms a friendship with a blind retired English literature professor, who requests that she read poetry to him despite her struggle. After suspecting she is dyslexic, the professor encourages Maggie to keep reading to him and provides her with emotional support. He becomes the first person in her life who doesn't mock her reading difficulties and actively helps her improve. Over time, Maggie's confidence and self-image grow through her interactions with the professor. Maggie also develops friendships with other residents of the retirement community, realizing that some need help with personal clothing shopping, something she excels at. Maggie decides to start a business around it. Ella, who also does not belittle Maggie's struggles with maths, offers to handle the financial side of the business. Together, they successfully launch the venture, strengthening their bond and mending their past differences in the process. Rose's refusal to talk about Maggie causes problems with her relationships with Simon and her father. While Michael is oblivious to the rift between his daughters, Simon tries to get Rose to open up. However, when Simon sees Rose confiding in Jim rather than discussing the problem with him, he decides to end their engagement. Ella secretly contacts Rose and sends her a plane ticket to come and visit. Rose confronts her father for hiding their grandmother's existence from her and Maggie. He reluctantly admits that Ella disapproved of Caroline having children because of her mental condition and failure to take her medicine consistently. Ella had blamed him for Caroline's death. Rose is thrilled to see her long-lost grandmother, but her excitement quickly fades when she arrives at her grandmother's house and realizes that her sister already lives there. Long conversations with Ella reveal the truth. Their mother's deadly car accident was an intentional act of suicide. Maggie realizes Rose protected her from the truth about their mother. Their mother suffered from a mental disorder and refused to take her prescribed medications. Ella, who was severely impacted by her daughter's death, never fully healed and harbored unresolved sentiments towards her granddaughters, whom she thought added to her daughter's problems. The revelations deepen the three women's relationship and set them on a path to reconcile their complicated past. Simon arrives at Florida when Maggie lies to him that Rose is pregnant. Eventually, Simon and Rose reconcile. Rose's wedding is held at the Jamaican Jerk Hut in Philadelphia, where they had their first date. Ella and Michael mend their relationship, and Maggie presents a heartfelt poem as a wedding gift, deeply touching Rose. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.